Hello and welcome again to Double Narratives with Dr. Angie, where we consider both sides of the narrative. The narrative in question we're considering now is a phone call I received from one of my subscribers. We're going to listen to that phone call again as a refresher before we begin to treat the issues.
My name is Feima and I'm a fan of double narratives.
Okay, thank you very much.
I need your help
Okay.
on a particular issue bothering me, ma.
Okay.
I'm calling because of my mom. She acts very strange sometimes. Whenever I offend her and she wants to report me to maybe someone else, or most importantly my dad, she makes the matters worse. She exaggerates the matter. She lies against me. She paints me like a bad person.
Okay.
And most times I feel like when she does that, people see me as a very bad child that is very disrespectful. Even if the issue is very little, she blows it out of proportion, and sometimes this affects the way my dad sees me. She does not want me to be close to him. So I want to ask that, is it possible for a mother to be jealous of her relationship, the relationship her daughter has with her husband?
Welcome back. In our last video, we looked at the first issue that was raised in the video, and that is why parents lie, the consequences of lying to children. And we all claim admittance. I'm guilty too. We all at one point or the other lie to our children. Now we want to look at another issue, which is, well, I think the very serious one, which also some of us are guilty of and some of us have experienced and we have been victim of as well. And that is the issue of maternal jealousy. The issue of maternal jealousy seems like a taboo, a myth, something that is in existence. Because all of us have an image in our mind of what a mother should be. Loving, caring, compassionate, and of course, loving us through our faults. So we never conceive in our minds that mothers can be jealous of their daughters. How is that even possible? But as you can hear from the phone call, that people do experience mothers being jealous of them, and that really some mothers are jealous of their own daughters. So today we're going to look at the reality of maternal jealousy. Does it really exist? What can you do if it does exist and if you're a victim of maternal jealousy? And if you're a mother too and you find yourself jealous of your daughter, don't be dismayed. It's only a natural process and you can actually overcome it. So today we're going to look at why do we have maternal jealousy? What can we do when there are cases of maternal jealousy, both from the angle of the child and of course from the parents? And then we're going to look at how we can of course overcome this weakness and have fantastic communication with our daughters. According to a psychologist, Mark Myers, he highlighted some telltale signs that you can look out for to be sure if your mother is actually jealous of you or if you are exhibiting characteristics of maternal jealousy. Sometimes it happens out of reflex because we just don't know it's happening, or sometimes it just gets out of hand. The first thing to look out for as a telltale sign is you just realize that everything you do is exaggerated by your mother, or everything your daughter does, you just realize you exaggerate it and you escalate it. It just goes out of hand and you begin to ask yourself subconsciously, why don't I react like this to my son? Why do I always react to my daughter this way? Another telltale sign is, all of a sudden you realize that your mother is very competitive. It's like you're in a competition of who wins, who is prettier, who is better, who is more knowledgeable, and who does things better. And then all of a sudden there is a rioting conflict in the home. Some of us have been victims as children. You just realize that your mother is always at loggerheads with you. And like she highlighted in the phone call, everything is exaggerated. Any behavior that you would overtly overlook from your son, if your daughter does the same thing, just realize that you escalate it beyond measure. You actually might be suffering from maternal jealousy, and you might be a victim of a mother who displays such characteristics. Another telltale sign, according to Myers, is she's just uninterested in your life. Whatever happens to you, she doesn't care. She doesn't care what you do. When you want to tell her, she doesn't want you to open up to her. and then she doesn't want to see you dressed a certain way. She becomes overtly judgmental of you when she sees you with the opposite sex. And then normally mothers show concern and they want you to be moral, but when you realize it's very excessive, it's either you're suffering, you're displaying traits of maternal jealousy, or you are a victim of maternal jealousy. Now let's look at what psychologists have to say about the effect of maternal jealousy on our children. Now, one of the major effects of maternal jealousy on children is that it kills the relationship and it destroys relationship in the home. And this is how it happens. Because you are overtly jealous of your daughter, you realize that it breaks communication and she doesn't want to deal with you. You can't see any good she does. And your daughter, on the other hand, because she cannot imagine that you can be jealous of her, becomes very withdrawn. She blames herself and she thinks, oh, I'm just a bad daughter. I'm not good enough for my mother. Because in the mind of a young growing child or a young adult, they can't conceive that a mother can be jealous of them. But at the point that they want begin to grow older, they realize that this is too competitive. This is not a game. You're supposed to be on my side. You're supposed to be my mother. And then they now become very, very rebellious. They don't want to have anything to do with you. So you guys now become two sides of the coin that never see eye to eye. Another thing is it's going to eventually destroy the relationship it has with her father. The reason is because the father doesn't want to offend you. And so whenever there is a conflict, she takes your side because she doesn't want to offend you. And of course, the daughter always feels alienated. And she's left out in the cold. And she becomes very, very possessive. She begins to draw all attention to herself. She falls in love with herself, hates you, and becomes very rebellious. Some of us have witnessed this kind of relationship, and we can put our fingers outrightly on this as a reason that destroyed the relationship we share with our mothers today. Some of us as grown adults don't have any relationship with our mothers just because of this. So the million-dollar question is, why maternal jealousy? Why does it happen? Are we evil? Are we bad parents? Why have we become this? Psychologists have found out through research why maternal jealousy happens to us. And I'm going to highlight to you one of these reasons. So don't beat yourself up. Don't think you're a horrible person. Sometimes it just happens and you can actually overcome it in order to have a fantastic relationship with children, especially our daughters. Now, one of the reasons why we can experience maternal jealousy or we can display traits of maternal jealousy is one, unfulfilled dreams. Look at the world around you. The opportunities for young adults are intense and immense. They can express themselves. As a matter of fact, they look prettier. They have better opportunities. It's sometimes normal for mothers to look at their daughters and get overtly jealous of them. They look at their bodies and they realize that they have aged, and it is because they've had children. And then here come this glowing beauty, intelligence, taking the center stage. Sometimes we get jealous because of this. But then you have to become accepting of the fact that you had your time. She's going to have that. And there's going to come a time when both of you will be on the same plane. She's going to have children too that you're going to love. Don't destroy the relationship now because you're trying to come to terms with how you have metamorphosed as adults. And for young adults, take the best of opportunities yourself. Don't forget, sometime you're going to have daughters on your own. So you want to be able to have actualized your dreams so you don't suffer, you don't subject your own daughters to maternal jealousy because you have not been able to actualize your dreams. So you want to make sure that you actualize your dreams, you push your dreams to the limit, and then you're not jealous of your daughter. She's actually living your dreams through you. So it's not a reason to be jealous because we feel we have unfulfilled dreams. Yes, we might have, but rather than destroy quality relationship, we should realize that when they actually do actualize their own dreams, it's usually for the better and for our own success. Dr. Charles Sophie, a child psychologist, noticed that sometimes mothers suffered from what she calls perceived transfer of sexuality. They feel their daughters have taken all their sexuality from them. She's now sexual and active and taking the center stage, and they are not feeling as sexy. What mothers can do is just, like I said, come to terms with the fact that you are sexy at whatever phase of life you are. They are young. They can only look that way. But don't forget also that there's going to come a time when they don't look that way. So just, Understand the fact that young people are sexy and attractive and flashy, and just love and and be accepting of your daughter. If you do feel threatened by your daughter's sexuality, just remind yourself that you're still sexy and beautiful, and just take back your self-confidence. Do not destroy your daughter's confidence because you feel you don't look sexy. Another thing that makes women, display maternal jealousy is an extreme, and that is when you have a parent who just wants to be at the center stage. A narcissist parent wants to be at the center stage, wants to be seen all the time, wants to we have them not just as mothers, we have them as friends, we have them as acquaintances, we have them as spouses who just want to be at the center stage. To this, there is nothing you can do. All you can do is just understand your mother for what she is. Do not let her take your self-confidence from you because she displays maternal jealousy. Just look away. Because if you allow your mother's maternal jealousy to affect you, you are also going to grow up to raise your daughter that way. So tell yourself from time to time, yes, my mother is like this, but I understand, and I'm not going to react to her in a negative way. I'm going to be a better person, and I'll make sure I don't raise my daughter this way. Now, to round off, I'm going to bring our attention to something, and this goes to the roles that our fathers need to play when they see there are signs of maternal jealousy. Oftentimes, those who do not display maternal jealousy openly is because they subdue it. Usually, mothers, have, the urge to be at some point or the other jealous of their daughters because of these reasons that have been listed. Also, a research conducted by Professor Carol Weave, a psychologist, found this, and I would love to read it to you. It says that while mothers' self-esteem and well-being is raised when their sons succeed, a daughter's success often lowers both their self-esteem and, of course. Now, the study also shows, and I'll read it to you, that the father's sense of self-esteem and, of course, well-being is not in any way affected by the successes of either their sons or their daughters. That means the fathers are a neutral party. So this is a call to fathers that you really have to notice when you sight or you sense there is any traits of maternal jealousy being displayed by your wife. You really need to call her attention to this so that she can play it slow with her daughter, so she doesn't just to lose relationship. Now, the antidote is communicate. Talk over issues. If you feel you have been like that to your daughters, just call them, admit what you've done, apologize, and then you can heal the relationship, and so that you can begin to have fantastic relationship with them. Now, I hope my caller and all the listeners have benefited from my reply to our concerns. Maternal jealousy is real. We can make our way around it. We can heal our relationship so we can be better mothers and have fantastic relationship with our children. Join me again as we pick on other topical issues that borders on communication, looking at it, of course, from both sides of the narrative. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and, of course, click on the notification bell. See you soon. Bye.